I think it's a waste of energy.
I think running's boring, and I'd rather just sit down and play video games or something.
Why run when I can spend time with my family?
I hate running because it messes my hair up and makes me look like, I've just gotten out of bed again.
Why run when you can have a job and make money?
Doesn't make sense why people do run. You see people out on the street running in the hottest part of the summer, the coldest part of the winter, and easily be doing other stuff, spend time with family. But just being out there running 10, 15 miles a day all by yourself out in the middle of nowhere, why? I don't know. Only that person can answer that question. Hi, my name is Rob Kirby, age 42. I've been running continuously since 1983. Just growing up in our neighborhood, we did a lot of activities. There's like 20 kids that are my age, and we play a lot of games. And then my next door neighbor told me that I should go out for cross country. And started from there. And the workouts, no, we just start out jogging, but then when you get to the races, and yeah, you start out sprinting, and then next thing you know, you're dying. Competed 4 years at high school level, and I was recruited by University of Southern Indiana in 1987. While at Southern Indiana, I had a lot of up and downs there. I finally had a breakthrough in 1990, where at Eastern Illinois, I think I became the only USI runner ever to win a 3,000 and 5,000 meters, both in the same night.
Of all the USI teams, this is probably the most balanced through the 7 runners. Balance they hope will make them very successful on Saturday.
We've had pretty well good depth and balance through our first 7th runners, and one day that top guy will have a bad day, and you'll have the other runners to pick up the slack and lead the team that day. I also had some success in cross country, where I was a 1990 All-American. Story about that is that top 25 Americans are All-American. That day I was the 26th American to finish. So we were looking around the crowd to find out there was one more foreigner. 4 hours later at the banquet, we found out there was one more. As far as professional years, it wasn't until my friend from Canada started really helping me with workouts on the track. There were some sessions we do like 8x800s at 220 and some mile repeats at 430. Overall, training with someone that pushed you on the track, that made the difference for my races as I got older. While in Evansville, I had a lot of support from the community, especially USI. Even though I was living in Newburgh. For example, there was one year at the Arts Fest River Run, which is a race in Evansville. It's a 12K, and normally they have around 2,000 runners. And I remember the year I got 4th, coming into the home stretch, everyone was just screaming and yelling, the commentators, the TV reporters. I mean, it was just wonderful how much they just backed me up when I finished the race. Of course, the 1994 Memphis Marathon, which was my first marathon that I raced, I also won it, beating Doug Curtis, who was a Masters runner at that time, by just missed the Olympic trials by 33 seconds. I can remember at Memphis about the 22-mile mark, and I remember the TV people driving by me, telling me I'm from Indiana, and I just started realizing that, golly, I'm actually going to win this race, and I really got really emotional. I almost started crying during the middle of the race.
Well, Senior Kirby has inspired me because I've looked at his success that he's had in his career, and it just inspires me to try that much harder to get where he was at some point. I hope that he can continue to push us in practice and work hard and see where we get.
Mr. Kirby has inspired me to run more because he's pushed me harder and had us do more in practice than Mr. Gassman had us do for a little while. And he's also helped me to push through the pain, and he's given me a lot of good advice.
Okay? But I want it faster, okay? Alright? Because it gets blood going.
Well, that's just it. I don't consider myself a coach because I'm still so much into it with myself that, I mean, I like the coaching, but I hate to sound greedy or selfish, but, I just, I do enjoy coaching, but, I still like to do my running first and then coach later. Okay, yeah, my plans for the future. Be able to go to one of these USATF Masters races and compete very well in it. Go to some local road races and just run really well against good competition.
He makes a nice showing today, and that is the local star. He is the former USI All-American, Rob Kirby.
Once you get in the routine with it, then you start competing against yourself. Like every day you feel like you got to push yourself harder, faster, stronger, and no one knows that except for yourself. And once you get started with that and get into a routine, then you just want to keep getting better. It just becomes automatic.